I'm now going to demonstrate a spinal segmentation exercise. Spinal segmentation refers to the capacity of each vertebrae in the spine to move relative to its neighbors above or below. Commonly, this exercise is done from a crawling position, and it may look to people familiar with yoga to a cat-cow-like exercise. The cat-cow, which I'll show in just a moment, is a great entry point for segmentation training, as it does teach people to deliberately move their spine into what's called extension, and then subsequently into what's called flexion. When we do an actual attempt at segmentation, we're going to move just one bone at a time, or as close to just one bone in the spine at a time as we can. So, beginning with a cat-camel, we assume a crawling position, and the cat-camel is going to involve us driving the chest and belly toward the floor into what's called spine extension, and then subsequently driving the back toward the ceiling, rounding out the spine into what is called flexion. We complete as many repetitions like this as necessary, hoping to just mobilize through the spine. With segmentation, we're going to start in a neutral position. I'm going to choose to start moving from my lower back, from my tailbone. I'm going to choose as well to initiate this motion into extension. This is arbitrary. It does not matter whether we start with extension or flexion. It does not matter whether we start at the tailbone or the top of the neck. So beginning with my tailbone, I'm going to stick the hips back, kind of aiming the tailbone for the ceiling. I'm then going to start to drive my lower back toward the floor. And what you may notice through the video is that as I continue to move this motion up the spine, the movement is quite slow. I'm trying to feel motion every 1 to 2 inches or so through my back. At this point now, I'm starting to feel the action sort of between my shoulder blades. I'm squeezing quite hard the muscles along the length of the spine. As I'm between the shoulder blades, I'm now going to start to extend my head and neck, continuing to squeeze through those muscles along the length of the spine until I'm looking straight forward. At this point, I'll pause, and I'm going to reverse, starting where I began. So I will tuck the tailbone between my legs and start to pull the lower part of my spine toward the ceiling. Now the area of my ribs toward the ceiling. Starting to transition toward the shoulder blades. Finally, tucking the chin in toward the chest as I'm in a fully flexed spine position. These are quite challenging. So I'm going to demonstrate now one kind of cheat for the exercise. If you notice that there's an area or areas of the spine that you aren't controlling well, that is to say, rather than feeling like one bone over the other can move, you feel like you're getting blocks of motion, like more than 1 to 2 inches, like multiple inches of the spine is moving as a unit. We would say you cannot segment that part of your spine. So what I'm going to show is a means of trying to earn better segmental control of that blocked area. Ideally, we'll have some sort of band or tubing. We're going to position that tubing right in the area so it's touching the part of the back that is restricted. I'm going to wrap it around the back, hook it onto my hands, and come back to a crawling position. The band is providing a feedback to the area that is restricted. Helps the brain kind of talk to the tissue there. In this case, I'm now going to allow the band to pull that part of the spine toward the floor, and then I'm going to push that part of the spine toward the ceiling. And then pull that part of the spine toward the floor, drive to ceiling. Pull toward floor, drive to ceiling. You're going to want to complete as many reps as it takes, such that when you try a full segmentation effort, full spine, that area seems to be moving a bit better. Many people have a hard time with segmentation, but with enough diligence, you'll improve pretty significantly.